In today's video, we are going to discuss about testing for cations. You are required to test certain cations such as zinc 2 ions, aluminium 3 ions, copper 2 ions, iron 2 ions, iron 3 ions in the exam. Most of the time, we normally use two reagents. One of them is dilute sodium hydroxide and aqueous ammonia. You are expected to observe the result and identify that different cation. Now I'll start with sodium hydroxide. Normally you are required to add a little of sodium hydroxide and excess. For example, when you add to a sample sodium hydroxide and you get white precipitate in a little that redissolves in excess, there are three types of cations which normally redissolves in excess of sodium hydroxide. That is aluminium 3 ions, zinc 2 ions and lead 2 ions. In a little, you are required to get a white precipitate. The other ions, we refer to them as colored ions. For example, if you add sodium hydroxide in a little of copper 2 ions, you will get a blue precipitate. In excess, it will remain the same. In iron 2 ions, you are expected to get a green precipitate which remain the same in excess. In iron 3 ions, you are expected to get a brown precipitate which remain the same in excess. To summarize, 3 ions will redissolve in excess of sodium hydroxide. In a little, they will form a white precipitate, and in excess, the white precipitate redissolves to form a colorless solution. Those are zinc 2 ions, aluminium 3 ions, and lead 2 ions. When you are using ammonia solution, the result remains almost the same, but there are some few observable changes. For example, there are only 2 ions which will redissolve in excess of ammonia. Those are zinc 2 ions. In a little, it will form white precipitate, and in excess, it will redissolve to form a colorless solution. Copper 2 ion will form a blue precipitate. In excess, it will form a deeper blue solution. The other ones will remain the same. The other ways of identifying cations, you can be able to use a flame test. For example, sodium ion will give you an orange flame. Calcium ion will give you a brick red flame. Potassium ion will give you lilac flame. Lilac means pink in color. Those are other ways of identifying cations. Thank you very much for watching this video.